I am so excited for this show today. It is one of my favorite interviews I think we've done in recent episodes. Sam Summers, you know him as the guy that sets everything up for Hinterland, gets the best artists here in Iowa. He is on the show today to preview Hinterland, talk about all the great new changes, and much more. Can't wait to share it with you today, guys. But welcome to a brand new episode of the Media Row podcast, of course, sponsored by Kelly's Little Nipper and Stevens Automotive and Sales. Happy to have you guys along here. I know these weeks are kind of weird, so I'm going to kind of run down how the shows are going to look here in the next few weeks as summer's almost over. Just a few more vacations, a wedding coming up, so gonna change it up a little, but this is how they're going to look. Of course, this week already, only 2 episodes this week. Next week, we're going back to a full 3 episodes during the week. But then we do have the wedding that weekend. So there will be no show on Monday, but then 2 shows to finish up. And then the following week, only 2 episodes as well, because finishing up the summer with a camping trip with the family, going to do some tubing in Decorah, which my dad is the one who found this, sent a message to my brother and I and was like, we did this a while ago, think this would be really fun to do with you guys. And it was just like a tubing, rafting, campsite, just beautiful landscape all around us. It'll be a great way to finish up the summer. And he was looking at the weather and fingers crossed, it's like, 88 degrees in early August for Iowa. I'll take that. But we're prepared, for that scorching heat, which I'm fine with. I don't know if Megan is as cool with it as I am, but I love the heat. I would rather have it be 95 degrees than 45 degrees. I love the heat. And plus, we're near water. It makes you want to get in the water. It makes you want to tube. And I'm ready to just float and drink. So that's kind of the plan. I just wanted to give you guys a rundown of kind of what the shows are looking like here in the next few weeks. But all that being said, we have to get to this interview with Sam Summers because it was great. Sam was fantastic. I appreciate everyone that helped set this up with me. So a huge thank you to Sam and all of his people. And this is going to be a fun time. But before we get to the interview, need to give a shout out to Kelly's Little Nipper at 1701 East Grand Avenue in Des Moines. Historic Kelly's Little Nipper. Speaking of music, if you want to hear great music, local music, go check out Kelly's Little Nipper on the weekends. They have great live artists every weekend. And throughout the week, you have on Wednesday night, trivia night, but just so much great stuff in that building over at the historic Kelly's Little Nipper. Great food, great drinks, and even better atmosphere and better people over there at Kelly's Little Nipper, 1701 East Grand Avenue in Des Moines. When you go, make sure to let them know that Media Row sent you. So, Sam, thank you so much for doing this for me. I know you probably have like a million things on your mind right now, but this is awesome that you're able to find time to join me here.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm excited to do it.
So a good icebreaker question, I think, for you would be just what has been your favorite album lately? What's been some go-tos for you?
Good. That's a good one. I mean, last year it was like Chapel Roan, the just, when the most solid album, right? Like we all know the singles and stuff, but I appreciate an album that is good start to finish, and that's one of them. I remember when it came out, it kind of reminded me, and I'm going to date myself here, but it reminded me of like when Fall Out Boy's Take This to Your Grave came out. It was like every single song, and you remember them in the order they are,
Yeah.
and it's something you don't really get, with music anymore, is these full albums from start to finish.
No, and like Chapel Roan too, I don't think I'd seen such a big response to one album as quickly as hers was. I mean, those
Yep.
videos that came from like Lollapalooza
Oh
when
my
she was
gosh.
playing, I mean, it was claustrophobic for me just looking at my phone.
Yeah, it is shocking to see that many people all like in unison singing along to something. It's
Yeah.
yeah, and there's a handful of artists that can do it, and I don't think anybody expected Dapple to be that artist. Like, I mean, I did when I heard the music, but when something comes out of nowhere and just like, the rise just so quick. It's just it doesn't happen very often.
Was that one of the more like hyped performers that you've had at Hinterland in recent years?
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to top that. Like we always have, some artists that end up getting to headliner level. I think we pick a few every year that end up, having the opportunity to headline in future years. I mean, you know, so at Hinterland we had Chapel play last year. Obviously, she could have headlined last year, but the year before, Noah played at like 3 p.m. Uh, on Zach Bryan's day. And the year before that, Zach Bryan played at 3 p.m. on Tyler Childers' day. And the year before that, Tyler Childers played at 3 p.m. for Sturgill Simpson's day. And so this is kind of the first year we didn't have that 3 p.m. artist that's headlining. We tried, but it didn't line up, but with Chapel. But it's fun to see that happen. It's a lot of luck when we get onto that. There's the thing about music is like a lot of people make great music and just has to be kind of like right time, right place. And then, those artists, you add fuel to the fire, it just takes off. So
There is a sense of luck to it, but at the same time, I mean, do you take some pride in being able to say like, "Hey, yeah, look, 2 years ago, Zach Bryan was playing at 3 p.m. here in Hinterland." Like, is
yeah,
that something you take pride in?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Zach one specifically, it's a friend of mine that books it. And I remember having these conversations when he was actually still in the military. He was in the Navy, and he sent me this YouTube video of him, playing at like a campfire or something. And, I liked it, but I also really liked my friend. So I was like, yeah, let's do this. And I want to be the first festival that does the show. And so that would have been, I'm not sure what year it was, but 2021. Yeah. So he was 10 days out of, getting his papers, leaving the Navy, and played Hinterland. I think he only played one show before that. Like official show. It was a fundraiser for that tight end for San Francisco. Or no, sorry, running back. What was his name? Uh 49ers guy. Played against Iowa for when he played for
Oh, Christian McCaffrey.
yeah, exactly.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
McCaffrey did uh, a fundraiser, and Zach played it, and so we were the next thing, and then obviously that one took off, and yes, very very proud of like that, and it's a really fun when that happens. And now you like see Zach like playing stadiums and
Yeah.
multiple stadiums. It's really crazy, and yeah, when you hear feedback from artists that they enjoy their experience at Hinterland, or even like we'll get we'll get feedback. I got it like a couple weeks ago from Turnstile. Agent was like, that's like their favorite festival they've played, and so we're doing something right for the artist, on our end, but a lot of it is like the vibe we create for the fan so that they can have a good time, so the artist can feel that, so they can put on a good show. It's all like everybody plays a part of it. And, I think booking things, while I do think like, we do a good job at that, it's really the thing I focus on most is how do we create this experience at the festival where, our fans are feeling safe, having a good time, because that's, you know, and when you start that in the day, like how you start taking care of them, you think about like them arriving at the festival, and their first experience at the festival is them having a good, a good experience in queuing in a line or parking. They're going to go in, start their day off great, have a good day. Artist is going to feel that energy, and they're going to have a good time. So
Well, you guys
yeah,
are clearly doing something right because it just continues to grow and grow. Because I remember in high school, it felt more like a hidden gem
yeah,
where, it wasn't as mainstream. And now, like, all of my friends go to it. I have family members that go to it. And yeah, like working at the radio station, people were always talking about it. So it is really cool to just see it grow. Is it growing faster than what you guys were kind of like ready
definitely.
for?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. we feel that we've caught up this year,
Hmm.
but last year we were definitely feeling, like the seams were, we were at the seams, they were ripping, right? So like coming out of our off year, right? 2020 festival, we picked it up, moved it to 2021. Um, there was a lot of pent up demand for live events, for obvious reasons, right? Like people strive that connection, and concerts are the way they were doing that. And so 2021, the same festival that we had announced for 2020 sold out instantly, and in 2021, where when we put that same lineup up for 2020, it did not sell out, right? Like it was kind of, I mean, it came out fine, but so that was the turn for us where it kind of, we started selling out, and the demand from around the country. And I would say like last year, we were around 70% of our attendees were from outside of the state. So traveling in. And yeah, so I think over the last couple of years is when we've really, really taken off. And um, you know, we've had to, this is our first year in our new location. We expanded our concourse. We've done a lot of research, like going to different festivals and understanding, how you kind of expand in a good way. We pay attention to the things that folks enjoy about the festival. We worked on gathering some information from our fans so we could understand better like what makes the festival great for them, and then trying to align that with how we expand in a safe way. So, yeah.
This year, is there more hype or more stress in a way on your guys' part than any other year? I know last year there was still a lot of hype because you had, of course,
Yep.
Chapel, Hosier, Vampire Weekend, which I still, Father of the Bride, that album is still on
Oh my
repeat.
gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
But just because of all those new changes you brought up.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. It's uh coming out of last year, it was like, man, well, first of all, we thought like last year everything was going to be great. We had a sold out festival. What we found was that we needed more space, and so like that's something that we had a long term plan. Like where we've moved to is something that we had planned on doing, but we sped that up. Started doing dirt work September 1st, and so it became kind of like a construction site until May. Getting this dirt done, getting the grass down. Fortunately, weather um, cooperated. Got some great grass out here for the festival. Especially with all this rain. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you've got that weight on you this year where you're like, you gotta really do a good job. But I know it's on everybody's mind that's working. Like, how do we deliver the best festival? And yeah, just we're ready for it.
And, maybe some listeners out there, viewers, don't know exactly the big changes,
Hmm.
but one of them was the water situation. Because
Hmm.
last year, I mean, just when you're saying so many people coming to this awesome festival, just what are some of the big changes that people can
Yep,
expect?
absolutely. Yeah. So, uh, you know, installing upgraded infrastructure for water lines throughout the festival concourse. So our entire concourse, we've got refillable water stations where people can bring water bottles. Also something we did last year too is just handing out free water, right? Like so August
Yeah.
in Iowa, it's hot. And last year was no different. I think we were 97, 96 most of the days. I anticipate being hot again this year, right? And so everything we do is how do we keep people cool? Because these folks are on site for a long time, and some of them are from cooler climates, or places that don't have this sort of humidity. And everybody that's coming is very excited, right? And so some people are when they come in the door 10 a.m., they're rushing right to the barricade and they're waiting there all day. So it's our duty to make sure those folks are safe, make sure they have water. Upgrades this year, we put misting fans all along the barricade. So those folks that come and camp
Oh,
early,
nice.
they get cool air blown at them. And then, throughout the concourse and anywhere that there may be a line, we've adjusted or we've added supplemental cooling, either fans or misting or air conditioning, and then a few different shaded structures and we've planted trees for long term in our concourse. But yeah, just really thinking about how we can keep the customer cool when they're here a long time.
And then this week, of course, you're getting so close to Hinterland coming. Just what is this week like? What is next week
Yeah.
like? Just everything. It feels like it's really starting to pick up now for you.
Yep. Yeah. I think what we do in 2, 3, 4 weeks down here is crazy. Like the amount of semis coming in. I mean, I'm in my RV just kind of watching the job site right now. We've got semis this week it's all about setting up tents. Last week it was all about setting up fencing. And power infrastructure has gone in over the last 2 weeks. I mean, we're setting up in a field in rural Iowa, so it's all temporary power, temporary internet. We do have the water that's been plumbed through these fields. Um, but really, like, there's just a lot going on, right? And then next week it's all about production. So, if you came down here today, you'd be like, "Where's the stage?" So, with this in our industry, like these stages, they move from festival to festival. So our stage is somewhere else in the country this week. Performing, artists performing on it this Saturday. They tear it down Sunday night. It's in seven semis or whatever, travels to us. They start setting it up. It's a crane build, so we have all of our equipment on, tons of people working, and it's crazy. We're going to actually take a time lapse video of the setup, but the
That would
amount
be
of people
cool.
that will be on site, just kind of, attacking the stage and getting it all up is incredible. And then, on Sunday night, when I go to bed, they've got like half of it down already, and I wake up and it's all gone. It's on to the next place. So it's incredible what they can do. But our teams, they do this at other festivals everywhere else. So it's interesting to see.
So, as someone, you've done this for a few years now, so you are experienced, but there are new things that happen. Do you go out and try to get advice from like the people that run Lollapalooza or any of those like major, major, major festivals where there's millions of people? Do you do that in any sense, or is it
Yeah.
kind of just like learn as you go?
No, I mean, I'll be honest, it was kind of learn as I go up until maybe a couple years ago. I, you know, I like to rethink things on based on customer need and what I think is creative and interesting. I will say that going to festivals the last 2 years has been so helpful understanding like some of the best practices and like in the companies that people use, right? Like we have a lot of these companies that are coming in from Coachella Valley or Vegas or some of these like hot areas that so I went to Coachella. I've been going to Coachella. I've been going to ACL, some of these hot weather
Oh
festivals to
yeah.
understand how they take care of their customer, from a cooling standpoint, learning best practices. My biggest takeaways is allowing more space than is needed, right? Letting people kind of explore into areas that, aren't near stages, where they can go and take a break and, maybe get some food, get some craft stuff. And so that was my biggest takeaway going to like a Coachella. Like the footprint of Coachella is so expansive. And if you don't want to be near music, you go find a corner and like there's no one there. And ACL same way. And so when we built out our place here, I mean, we were going from like I think our footprint for our actual stage last year was like 17 acres. This year, the piece that we're on, and we're using honestly almost the full piece is 77 acres. And
Oh
so,
wow.
just, expanding that footprint so folks can like spread around. And so, yeah, biggest takeaway from those places. And then also, it's fun to see what people like Coachella can do with these, unlimited budgets and it just I mean, we want to be that. We want to be able to deliver in a way that is like what Coachella does or ACL does. Next summer, I'm going to go to the European festivals. I want to check out Glastonbury. Well, that wouldn't be next year, but some of these different ones in Europe, we do get a lot of comparisons to European festivals
Okay.
because they do set up on like hills and on farms. And so I just want to go see what that's like. And I need to hit Bonnaroo as well.
Yeah, some of those are really cool to see like on YouTube. I'm a big Sam Fender fan. I love Sam
Oh yeah,
Fender.
Sam's great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get him to Hinterland, that'd be
I mean,
sick.
it's on my list. It's on my list. It's the same agent as it's the same agent as Hosier.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, yeah, which I mean kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's I'm actually writing that down right now because it's on my
Let's
my
go.
Excel grid. But right now I've exploded with notes because I'm offering on stuff for next year, and confirming stuff, really exciting stuff for next year. So while we're in the thick of it right now, it's really our best time to offer because we have the most visibility, with artists and the country when our festival's happening, and knowing like the photos are going to be awesome, and all the footage and stuff is going to be
Yeah.
out there. It's a good time to get these offers in front of the artists. So
So that was actually a question I had down of like, how soon do you start preparing for next year? Are there already artists that you have booked, ready
yeah,
to go?
yeah,
Like, what
yep.
is that process like?
I start pretty early because like when I know what I want, I'm going for it. And
Hmm.
so like, we're overpaying for some of the bands that we not overpaying. We're paying what it takes to lock them in that early,
Yeah.
right? So like um I start typically in April, to just, working on my grid of future years. And really it's like I've got this grid in Excel that it just goes from year to year. I change I copy it, duplicate it. So something we don't get added, it moves to the next year, and we look at it. So I'd say April. We've got one of our headliners confirmed for next year, offers on two others. A lot of the underbill um, offers out, confirmations. I don't know. I got to check my inbox. This is about the time we start confirming a lot of stuff. We're the same weekend as Lollapalooza, so some of the artists we share. So when they kind of put it into gear to start booking, like, our stuff, starts booking too.
Yeah, and do you speak with the artists in person or do you speak with them directly when you're trying to confirm? Like, for example, the Bleachers are at Hinterland, another one of my favorite bands. Saw them in Kansas City, one of the most fun concerts I've ever had. But do you speak like with Jack and the band, or do you just go through agents? What is that process like?
Yeah. Um, yeah, mostly agents. So it's set up kind of like the sports world, right? You have an agent, you have a manager negotiating the deals, and then I, as the promoter or the talent buyer, I'm working directly with those folks. I don't have a lot of interactions with the artists, although it's funny you mentioned Bleachers. Jack Antonoff is one that's like, his old tour manager, Abby, who is now the tour manager for Noah Khan, is from Winterset, Iowa. And
Oh,
been friends with
cool.
her for a while. She used to work for us. And she used to text me and say like, "Hey, Jack really wants to play the festival," and so we're excited. This year is like perfect because like into Lana, an artist he
Yeah.
produced is like perfect. So, I mean, Abby's gonna be on site, so we'll see. I mean, maybe meet Jack this year, but sometimes I'll talk to like the smaller artists and stuff. I don't know. I'm an awkward guy, so I'm not going back and getting myself involved in, that stuff usually. So
Has there been a really cool experience though, like where you fanboyed a little and it all just
yeah,
worked
it
out
always
well?
turns out poorly.
I was gonna say, because I'm one of those
Yeah,
fanboys and it would turn out
yeah,
poorly for me.
yeah. It's always a letdown. It's like you get really excited because someone's like you liked them your entire life, like their music or something, and then you go up and it's all in your head, and you're just like words don't come out right. You don't play it cool. And really if there's something I've learned about people, it's like I don't know, they just want to talk about whatever. And when you go up and you're
Yeah.
like, I love this, I love you, I love everything, it's like, oh shit, get this guy away from me. So yeah, I think I'm thinking back to like I'm into like pop punk, and that's the
Yeah.
stuff I came up on, so like Fall Out Boy and um, uh, but like Saves the Day was one of my favorite bands.
Yep.
And they're this band from New Jersey, and I remember meeting Chris Conley, and like really, it's like they're playing for like 100 people, right? Right now, but I was so like nervous to meet this guy, and because he made these songs that are like some of the best songs ever written, and yeah, I it was just awkward, and he's nice, but yeah, it never goes how you want it to. It's like the meet and greets, right? Like people that
Yeah.
pay for these meet and greets with the artists, and you have in your head, it's like this person they're gonna notice me, they're gonna know that like I'm their fan, and I think as long as you know what you're getting out of those things, it's good. But like it's really you go up, you have a second with the artist sometimes. I mean, those things are kind of a way of the past post COVID. People aren't really
Yeah.
doing them anymore.
But that's
So
another special thing about Hinterland is it's huge and it's a great atmosphere, but yet it still feels like intimate, where you feel
yep,
like you are right there with the artist. And
totally.
Lollapalooza, I want to go. It'd be really cool. But yeah, like we were talking about with Chapel Roan, there's times where I'm like, you wouldn't even be able to see the
Yeah.
stage.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is a nice thing. And like, another fun thing is like, I mean, some of these artists are staying all weekend because they're fans of music as well. I mean, I know like Rebecca Black is staying all weekend, right? I mean, that's pretty sweet to me. Zach Bryan, when he played his first year, his team camped backstage. Uh, yeah, and some artists come in early, it is fun. Like I get really excited knowing that these people are in our town, and very curious, like what are they doing in our town?
Yeah.
How are they having a good time in our town? And so that's important to me too. Like knowing, maybe like, say headliners coming in a few days early, it's like I hope they find something fun to do. Let's
Uh,
make sure they do. So yeah.
No, there's always, it is cool to hear stories from the artists of like what they do in every city they go to. And
Yeah.
I think Iowa it would be cool to learn, what are the bleachers doing, the day before they show up to St. Charles, Iowa.
Yeah.
But
I I
um
think we got to lean into like the stuff that like makes Iowa fun, right? Like, I
yeah.
mean, for me, what makes Iowa fun is that like I can get on an ATV right now and go out in the country and check out, the fields and look at wildlife and I mean, really I feel like there's a piece of everybody that would like that. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
I think we struggle like, or at least in my mind, it's like, what can they do in Des Moines? What can they do in, when they're staying in West Des Moines or whatever? It's like, I don't know, just like let's show them Iowa, like what's going on out here. Cause this is actually what's pretty cool about Iowa, right?
Yeah.
Like try getting like if you live in New York or, Los Angeles, it takes you a long time to get somewhere like this. And you got to seek it out where like I got to drive 10 minutes in Iowa and I'm like in my space, like in a good spot where it's like
Yeah.
trees and, farmland and quiet and you can see the stars. And so we try to lean into that. And I think Hinterland, just by how we've set up the backstage, like they get a glimpse of that.
So, is there any big news coming up from your guys' end, whether here in the next few months, any big news that fans should know here before we wrap up?
Yeah, I'm very excited. We just announced like so I have a company, First Fleet Concerts.
Hmm.
We just announced the biggest show that we've ever announced. Chapel Roan in Kansas City. She's doing a residency at Union Station, which is where like the Chiefs did their celebration. 35,000 people a night. And artist chose us, First Fleet, to produce their Midwest dates. It's the only Midwest dates. And it's this fall. So, playing Los Angeles, New York, and Kansas City, which she's from Missouri. So we are tasked with taking care of the Kansas City, and we're very excited about that. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
it's the
huge
biggest thing we
honor.
have done, and yeah, maybe the biggest thing we will do. So yeah, that one is having that kind of announced like right while we are getting ready for Hinterland, which is also such a big moment for us, is like I feel like I wish I could spread those a bit, but just yeah, taking it in. It's pretty awesome.
Well, Sam, again, I know you have a million things on your plate, but thank you so much for doing this for me. I
Absolutely.
really do appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No, I love Hinterland. I was a senior in high school when you had like, it was Isbell, Brandy Carlisle, Hosier, Dawes, Rustin, like basically my
2019. Yeah.
Spotify playlist in high school was the
Nice.
lineup.
Me too. Yeah. Not high school, but that's what this is. It's my playlist, right? Like it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really awesome. That other people kind of connect with it. Um, I'm
Well, I
getting
love
like,
too you
yeah,
spread it out. Like it's not,
yeah,
like yeah, the ones I just listed are kind of that Americana folk
yeah.
rock, but you have it's hip hop, it's rock, it's pop,
hmm
it's all over. That's what I love about it. So,
That's yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people listen to a lot of different things. Like majority of people, when you ask them what kind of music do you like they're never like country. Or I mean some are, but like it's usually like I like a little bit of everything, you
yeah.
know? And so uh I do best booking when I book things I like. And so that tends to be what I do. I love music, so I'm like my playlist is everything that we're booking and more. And it's exciting. I mean you could do a festival too, right? Just like book the stuff you like, right? Like it's yeah, that's really it's like I say the booking is the easiest part of this. Like the hardest part is like dealing with people and like how do
Yeah.
you make sure that one, people are safe, people feel safe, and they're having a good time. Like that's
Mhm.
the most difficult part and the thing that we spend 95% of our time doing. I don't want to undersell like the booking part, but like yeah, I do believe that um you could book a lineup too, right? Like anybody could book a lineup. It's just how it goes, you know?
Well,
So
it's just funny you say that because,
yeah.
like, on long road trips, my dad and I,
Yeah.
for fun, we would just be like, all right, who would be your Friday night headliner in a 3-day
Yeah.
festival? And we would just like have those dumb
Amazing. Dude,
conversations.
that's so awesome. Yeah. Do you remember like a few years ago when there was like some online generator where you could generate a lineup based on your
No,
Spotify playlist? That was pretty sweet. Yeah.
that'd be so
Uh
cool.
Also, you know what's crazy is like I don't know if you use Chat GPT,
Yeah.
but if you go to Chat GPT now, like you can like, and I don't do this, but you can go to Chat GPT and like it knows too much, man. Like he just it knows too much. It's too good at all of our jobs. I was like, consider everything I've booked over the last 10 years. Uh, Consider that I don't like to repeat every two whatever. And then spit out what you think I will be booking next year. And it was like, oh shit,
You're
this is
looking
not
down and
as
it's
special.
matching.
I was like, this is not so special. But no, I believe in machine learning and AI too, and so I don't use it for that. I think when it comes to art, there's a delicate balance, but like I mean, shit, it saves me so much time on like other stuff. Like, find me
Yeah.
something on the internet, cheapest price, please.
Yeah. Or like
It's
recipes. I know people use
oh,
it for
dude.
cooking recipes all the time.
Dude, you know what I did the other day? I took a photo of my pantry and my fridge, and I said, "What can I make?" And it gave me a list of all these things based on what it could see in the photos, and it was like pretty like it was pretty crazy. And I was like, and know that I have a good spread of spices, and and like it would spit it out, and then I would like get like more granular and granular. I was like, no, now only use Takis and flour and and it would give me these recipes like full serious like three recipes with takis and flour and I mean it's just incredible. It's so confident,
That
but
it's so
yeah,
scary all at
it
once.
is.
It like Terminator is gonna show up.
I know as long as we can kind of keep it in the right lane, and the right people have the power. But I mean that's the idea of AI is it's not people. So
Yeah,
um it's we'll see
that's
where it goes.
wild.
Yeah.
But
Well, hey, yeah, thanks for having me on and yeah, I appreciate it. Always down to do these things. So
can't thank Sam Summers enough. I could talk music for hours, and especially like Hinterland. Like I was telling Sam, it felt like a hidden gem when I was in high school. I remember, and I'm gonna call her out here. My friend Ava was just a huge music fan. And in high school, I was trying to get someone to go to this Hinterland concert. Because first I went to my dad, because we'd go see every concert together. And I was like, oh, you got Jason Isbell, Brandy Carlisle, Hozier, Casey Musgraves, Dawes, Rustin Kelly, everyone I was listening to at the time and still listen to. I sent him a message like, we got to go. I mean, we got to do the full 3 days. And he's like, no, I can't make it. So I send my brother a message. I'm like, come down from Ames and let's go. And he's like, no, can't do it. So then I start asking all my buddies. And, my buddy Grady's like, no, I don't really know any of those artists. Ask Megan before we were dating, I think we were like a few weeks into dating. And she's like, no, I don't want to spend 3 days out there. I'm like, you're kidding me. Go to Ava. And I'm like, Ava, let's do this. And she's like, no, I don't know any of the artists. I've never heard of Hinterland. Like 2 years later, she's going to all the Hinterland festivals. She was the one I went to last year. She was the one that called me. I was doing an interview with Matt Campbell as she's blowing up my phone like, hey, I got an extra ticket. You should go. So I remember leaving, media days at Jack Trice Stadium and hauling ass down the freeway to try to get to Wells Fargo where you can hop on a bus and, of course, get to St. Charles. And it was a great experience. If you haven't been to Hinterland, it is awesome. And Sam and everyone there, like you heard in the interview, making sure that you feel safe and are safe. And they're adding a bunch of new things. Water is going to be a huge one. They also have something which I don't think Sam mentioned, but they have like a degree rule where if it's over, I think it was 90 degrees. I should have asked them and I apologize, but it's like 90 to 92 degrees. If it gets to a point where it is unbelievably hot, you can get a refund for your ticket. So they're making sure they get a bunch of new things out there and making it more special. And it's great to hear that they're able to bump it up just for the demand of, they were at 17 anchors. Now they're going to 77. That's pretty incredible. And it's great to see. And me as a Bleachers, Lana Del Rey fan, last year, of course, with Vampire Weekend, Chapel Run, Sam Summers hits it out of the ballpark every year. So make sure you get to Hinterland. If not this year, go next year. But thank you to Sam Summers, all of his people for helping set this up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Before we wrap up, need to give a shout out to Stevens Automotive and Sales at 5320 Northwest Beaver Drive in Johnston, Iowa. Stevens Automotive, 35 years of family owned and operated here in the state. Loyal people, great communication with all their workers and all the people that walk in through their door. And then finally, no BS. That's one of their biggest ones. No BS coming from Stevens Automotive and Sales. People you can trust, loyal and true, good people over there at 5320 Northwest Beaver Drive in Johnston, Iowa. 35 years of family owned and operated here in the state. Stevens Automotive and Sales. When you go there, make sure to let them know that Media Row sent you. 3 shows next week. Going to have a lot of good interviews, getting stuff planned out already for next week. Going to have a good time. Happy to see you guys there. Have a great weekend. Be safe and have fun. And see you Monday for a brand new edition of the Media Row podcast.